DSW, Designer Shoe Warehouse, is the one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. With sneakers, boots, and everything in between for every style, mood, and occasion, you'll definitely find shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. DSW has what you need, but more importantly, they have what you didn't even know you wanted. You never know what you'll find at DSW. Find the shoes that get you at prices that get your budget at DSW stores or DSW.com.
This podcast is supported by MIDI Health. Are you in midlife, feeling dismissed, unheard, or just plain tired of the old healthcare system? You're not alone. In fact, even today, 75% of women seeking care for menopause and perimenopause issues are left entirely untreated. But it's time for a change. It's time for MIDI. MIDI's not just a healthcare provider. It's a women's telehealth clinic founded and supported by world-class leaders in women's health. Their clinicians provide one-on-one, face-to-face consultations where they truly listen to your unique needs. They offer a full range of holistic, data-driven solutions that isn't one-size-fits-all care. This is care uniquely tailored for you. At MIDI, you will find that their mission is clear: to help all women thrive in midlife, giving them access to the healthcare they deserve. Because they believe midlife isn't the middle at all. It is the beginning of your second act. Ready to feel your best and write your second act script? Visit joinmidi.com today to book your personalized, insurance-covered virtual visit. That's joinmidi.com. MIDI, the care women deserve.
Welcome back to another episode of Investies. I'm your host, Linda Garcia, Texas State Representative and author of the book Wealth Warrior. It is so good to be back with you all. I hope you enjoyed our series reflecting on all of the ups and downs in 2025. It is so important to take the time to look at the market movements and how it impact not only our portfolio, but also us emotionally. It's good to assess these things so that we can become stronger investors moving forward. At the end of the day, I hope you were able to see that taking impulsive action based on emotion is never the way to invest. The game of building generational wealth in the stock market is about remaining patient, working on your emotions, and identifying opportunities. On this week's episode, we are going to discuss investors' emotions and how those emotions came up in 2025. We're also going to discuss what we can expect for our investing year in 2026. Since the year started, we have had a lot of volatility in the stock market. Fresh off of our review, we know that the catalyst for 2025 in volatility were the tariffs, and it looks like 2026 isn't much different. Last week, the Dow increased 0.48%, the S&P 500 increased 0.77%, and the Nasdaq increased 1.38% in a positive week. I have to be honest, I was definitely not expecting a positive week last week. It was not looking good. We had so much news pertaining to Trump's actions. At the start of last week, the volatility intensified as Trump threatened tariffs on NATO countries that failed to meet defense spending targets. This added so much uncertainty to international trade. He then made a big threat to President Macron to impose tariffs on French wine and champagne. The reason? He was upset that the president declined to join his quote-unquote Board of Peace. The Board of Peace required that leaders in other countries pay $1 billion to resolve global conflicts. We then saw geopolitical tensions rise over Trump's desire to acquire Greenland, leading to a market drop and a flight to safe haven assets like gold. Trump has also been rolling back regulations at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. These actions have been making investors extremely nervous about the stability of consumer finance. Last week, Trump also filed a $5 billion lawsuit against JP Morgan Chase, accusing the lawsuit to closing his accounts for political reasons in 2021. The bank said that the only reason it closes accounts is for legal and regulatory reasons. This, of course, has contributed to the uncertainty of the financial sector. Then later in the week, Trump rolled back a threat to impose 10% tariffs on 8 European countries that opposed his push to quote unquote buy Greenland for national security issues. These tariffs have nothing to do with the list of tariffs that I have just mentioned. This is a whole other tariff threat that he rolled back, and this is when the market began to recover. After walking back this tariff threat, analysts on Wall Street began to aggressively make fun of Trump, reviving the nickname Taco, which stands for Trump Always Chickens Out. As mentioned, I did not have hopes for a positive week last week because of the heaviness of the news cycle with geopolitical issues. But when Trump walked everything back, the market immediately began to recover. The market also began to laugh at the threats, and I think we have come to the conclusion that we can no longer trust his threats. So when we look at how 2026 is starting off compared to 2025, yes, we have a reoccurring theme with tariff threats, but we also have the reoccurring theme with walking back those tariff threats. This tactic can no longer be trusted, and I do not think that it is going to impact the market as much as it did in 2025. Let's review how the market performed for 2025. The Dow was up 14.13%. The S&P 500 was up 17.51%, and the NASDAQ was up 20.51% for the year. I always remind you of this. I'm going to remind you of this again. The average increase for the top 3 indexes is anywhere between 5 to 10%. Specifically for the S&P 500, we can expect an 8 to 10% increase annually. This is already another year where we see incredible returns from these indexes. If you haven't done so already, I highly encourage you to take a look at how your portfolio performed in 2025, measured up against these indexes. When you are invested into individual stocks, the growth can be so much more exponential than the growth you can expect on average from an index. Again, this is why I continuously advocate for individual stock ownership.
Close your eyes. Focus. Listen to work getting done with Monday.com. Relax as AI does the manual work, while your teams are aligned on a single source of truth. Feel the sensation of an AI work platform, so flexible and intuitive, it feels like it was built just for you. Notice you're limitless. Now open your eyes, go to Monday.com, start for free, and finally, breathe.
Look at him, eating whatever he wants, never gaining a pound. While I'm stuck with the boring special and can't lose an ounce.
How's your lunch, man?
Amazing. Yours?
So good.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Cool, buddy.
Weight loss isn't fair, but Mochi Health is. The affordable GLP-1 source that can fix your frustration with food.
So, same time next week?
No!
Definitely.
And your friends. Learn more at joinmochi.com. Mochi members have access to licensed physicians and nutritionists. Results may vary.
As we know, individual stock ownership is definitely not easy, which is why only 15% of Americans are direct shareholders. Being able to calm your emotions and not make bad decisions based on impulse and what is happening in the short term in the market is extremely difficult. This is why, again, in these last several episodes, I've had you review the biggest ups and the biggest downs in the market as a reminder to how you reacted and what actions you took in your portfolio. The big two emotions that we feel in the stock market is fear and euphoria. It is important to understand that fear will almost always lead us to selling out of our positions in the market, and euphoria will almost always lead us to purchasing more stock in the market. We should actually be doing the opposite of this. Last year in 2025, this was the perfect example on why we should exercise patience. Everything happened in the stock market. We experienced new crazy all-time highs, followed by a stock market crash and then a full recovery that despite crashing, the Dow still increased by 14.13%, the S&P 500 still increased by 17.51%, and the Nasdaq still increased by 20.51%. What action did you take when the stock market crashed? What action did you take when the stock market was reaching new all-time highs? One of my favorite quotes from Benjamin Graham, who was Warren Buffett's teacher, is the investor's chief problem and even worse enemy is likely to be himself. Make sure that you are staying informed, investee. We are currently going through earnings season of Q4 earnings. It's important that you stay on top of these earnings calls and make sure you are watching the progress of your investments, reassessing whether or not this is still a good investment for your portfolio, ignoring how the market is reacting to your investment. It's important you also understand the macro news that is taking place, which we cover here on Investies and keep you updated. We should not be making decisions on our portfolio based on macro news. We are long-term investors with a long-term time horizon. This is what builds generational wealth. Short-term moves do not. For 2026, I definitely expect more extreme volatility in the market for the short term. We do have a president that continuously manipulates the market for his own personal gain, meaning that he will tank the market and then prop the market back up. And I'm sorry, but I will say this with my entire chest. You better believe that most of these decisions are planned and people are privy ahead of time and are making big gains pertaining to how he is manipulating the market. You're listening to Investies, a Cosmic Standard production. I'm your host, Linda Garcia. A special thank you to the team, Asia Simpson, Eliza Smith, and Jacob Winnick.
This is a Monday.com ad. The same Monday.com designed for every team. The same Monday.com with built-in AI, scaling your work from day one. The same Monday.com with an easy and intuitive setup. Go to Monday.com and try it for free.